Hi, Orange Girl here with days 17 and 18 of my December daily. So, this is how it started out. I had these three photos of the elf. They were not taken on day 17. And then I had this one that was also not taken on day 17, but that was a letter that my daughter wrote to the elf. And I'll get to that in a second. I The elf came on day 17. And so that's why I'm doing the elf story on that day. And the story on day 18 is a hat day at work. And I'll explain the stories a little bit more. But at this time, I'm thinking I might put those three photos in the middle, in between the two pages on 17 and 18, so that I can include all three photographs um, and the photograph of the letter that my daughter wrote. Then I toyed with the idea of just using one of the elf photos and putting it at the bottom down there, and then I saw these tags and I was like, oh, there's three tags. And what if I made the photos small enough to put on the tags? So I went ahead and measured. And then off camera, after I printed the photos small, off camera, I didn't like the way they looked on the white tags. So I made some red tags. So the idea came from the white tags, but then I made these red tags to put them on. And you can see those itty bitty photos. I'm gonna say they're like an inch and a half by 2 inches, a little less than an inch and a half by 2 inches, or something like that. I can't remember. So now my thought is, oh, the other thing that I changed was the background paper. It was just getting lost. Everything was getting lost, and it just didn't look right. So now my thought was that I would hide the journaling underneath this photo on the tag, on the red tag. Um, so I went ahead and cut all of the strips up off camera because that's so boring to watch. And I usually just speed it up anyway. So I just did that before I turned the camera back on. So just to kind of be clear, off camera, I went ahead and printed those photos, made some tags, and cut up the journaling, as well as changed the background paper. So now, because our elf's name is Snowflake, I wanted to add some snowflakes onto the page. And so I have that white scrap paper. It really is a scrap paper that has snowflakes on it. So I'm thinking at this point that I might use that. There is a hole in that paper, and so the tag is covering that hole. And then I thought about adding this blue paper because it has a snowflake on it, and I thought, well, maybe a couple pops of blue might look cute. So I go ahead and I get these ready to go behind my photos, and I change my mind. I just don't end up liking the addition of the blue. So I that ends up going away here in a moment, but I kept it in just so you could see that this was kind of the process that I was going through. What I was thinking was that I would use something to do with snowflakes, and then I also wanted to tie the two pages together, so I thought I would do whatever I do behind the Santa photo, I would also do on the other side behind the letter, the photograph of the letter that my daughter wrote. So I'm just going through the 6x6 pad, and I end up coming up with this one, which works for the left side, but it doesn't really work for the right side because the backgrounds are too close to the same. So I end up doing something else on the other side, but that's okay. I really like the way this ends up looking, and then I don't need the tag. The tag was just too much red. And so I went to my 6x6 pad. This paper is a lot like, well, it is the smaller version of what I have on the left side, except it has a little bit of gold in it, which I liked because of the gold letters and that gold snowflake, which I think will make it to our page as well. So there's that scratch piece of paper there. I like the idea of those things together. At one point, I thought about it lifting up just that white with the snowman paper. I thought about putting it on a different tag. I kind of went through. This was kind of my struggle point for the layout, was just trying to figure out how to make that layout, how to make that work. And so, as usual, I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm gonna table that for a moment, and I'm gonna work on the right side. The right side's gonna be much easier. So I really wanted the believe in Santa, just because we have Santa hats on. And so I found that when I was going through the ephemera initially, and then I decided I would go ahead and cut this up, but I did use the magic of video here in a second, and you'll see it all cut up and I think even glued down. Yes, so I've even glued it down already. That's so tedious. It doesn't take that long. It just, I mean, it's not hard. It just takes a while. So I thought I might as well leave that off. So now I'm kind of ready to start gluing stuff down. And as I do these letters, I realize, oh, I was gonna stitch around that Believe in Santa card. So I take it off and stitch. I didn't want to stitch through the numbers. In some cases I do that, but mostly I didn't want to do it for this layout. So once again, my sewing machine is only for paper, and it is right there on my desk, and I'm just able, when it's something really quick like this and really short, and I'm not sewing a long length or on a big piece of paper, then I can usually just do it while it's sitting right there, and I don't even have to move it or anything, which is nice. It's probably one of the best newer things that I've done to my room was add that. All right, so then I just went ahead. Really? I'd already put tissue paper behind my photo, and so I just needed to glue it down. Now, I still don't know what I'm going to do with the journaling, but I have decided that okay, so I have these 3 tags, right? And I want people to be able to look at all 3, but I need them tied together for space reasons. And so I'm trying to very loosely, you can see me loosening it, trying it out, loosening, trying it out. And then I'm going to tie a little bow on it, make sure it works again. And then I'll tie it again, so like it's kind of like in a double knot, so that it will last and stay. So my journaling on that I still haven't figured out yet on this page is, I'll read that to you. It says, let me grab it here. She's back. I don't think Bee ever thought Snowflake would come. In fact, Bee wrote her letter on December 1st. She didn't come then, but she left one letter each day spelling out her arrival date, and then, as promised, joined our family on December 17th. Let the elf shenanigans begin. So that will be the hidden journaling underneath my photograph. So I'm going to go ahead and add tissue paper because I still haven't completely figured out what I'm doing yet. And then what I end up doing is going back to that snowflake paper and just cutting a new paper. So it's not a scrap. The whole reason I put it on there was it was just a scrap on my desk. And I thought, I wonder what this looks like. It's a snowflake, you know. So I end up just going and getting another piece of that same paper. And I think it happens right here. And then I will just use that. Yeah, so off camera, I glued that paper down and I glued the journaling down. And now I'm just going to go ahead and add this on top. I guess I didn't glue the paper down, just the journaling. So gluing the paper down, and then what I'll do is I'll add a little bit of glue to this flip, and then I'll sew that down. So that it just, if people are going to be looking at it and flipping that, I want it to be on there pretty securely. So it also just looks, I like the look of the stitch. So I'm just going to add that on. I think I stitched on a couple more things as well. So my numbers, number 17 and 18, I was able to continue with the big numbers. I like the way number 17 looks. I kind of make it so it's not exactly even. Does that make sense? Or no, maybe I don't end up doing that. Yeah, see? So that the 7 kind of goes off the bottom a little bit, and then I add this special delivery on there, and I sew that label down. So the other side, day 18, says underneath the photo, the journaling is This whole week of school is filled with special days. It's not lost on me at all that I am so lucky to spend these days with B in the same building. Today it was Santa Hat Day. We added a Snapchat filter for a little extra fun. So now for the embellishing part, and I don't add a ton of embellishments, but I wanted to add a few more snowflakes and a little bit of bling. So I went ahead and I grabbed this snowflake. This is from the Crate Paper collection last year called Fa La La. And it came with a bunch of different snowflakes that I'm not sure why I didn't use. I still have a couple left. So I think that snowflake that's down at the bottom now, I think that one also came in that same pack. So let's see. So I need to just glue. I'm not sure what I'm looking for here. I think I was looking to see if there were any more snowflakes that I wanted. So they were all pretty big. So there's some white ones too, but I wanted the bling. So I glue that down, and then I'm going to glue this back tag down. And then when I've got that where I want it, I'm going to just zip right along there. Yeah. So right along that top part of that tag, kind of, I'm just going to do a quick zip on my sewing machine. Once again, it looks good, but it also, you don't see it much. It's more functional than anything because if people are actually going to be looking at them, I don't want it to come unglued. All right, so I think everything is down now, and I just have a couple little things to add, and I'll be done. So I have really enjoyed doing this project this year. I think the idea of starting off and remembering that my purpose is to find joy in the season, and that really helped me, honestly, to find joy in the season, but also to um, complete this. I'm saying that as if I'm done. I'm not. I'm still not done. But I'm every day. I'm a day or two closer to being done. I'm getting a day or two or four done each day. So 17 and 18 I completed today. I have the rest of everything ready to go. Stories ready, told, typed up. Some ideas in my head of what I want to do. I'm rolling a few ideas around in my mind. I said I wasn't going to use any of these for another design team layout, but I have something that I might try, and if it works, it will be a design team layout. So I just added a few more color cast design snowflakes, and then last but not least, I am going to add, I'd kind of forgotten to add the Avery label to the little flippy uppy thingy that I still don't have a name for. So that little flip up trapdoor thing, I forgot to put this on. Usually I put it on before I put the photo down so that it's just easier and I can put the photo right over the top, but I forgot. That's okay. So I just add that, and it just says Merry Christmas on both sides. There are stickers from the Fa La La collection. You can see them there over on the right, and they just are red with white Merry Christmas on them, and that's that. And I am finished. Here come the close-ups. Hopefully you can see the three photos a little bit better on the close-ups. Not so much the photos themselves, but at least how it works. And then the journaling spots, some of the stitching and layers, and then the journaling on the other side, and then the full spread. Thank you so much for following along with my journey here, and I appreciate all your comments. See you in the next video.